What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about the comparisons that is, some people are doing online between Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark, right? And so from what I see, I've been watching. I wasn't really at first really watching too much of Paige Bueckers. I watched her when she was in college. I like her game. I think Paige Bueckers is really a really good basketball player, right? And the more I watch her, Paige Bueckers, I think that her game is more suited for winning championships in the WNBA than Caitlin Clark's, right? And the reason I say that is because that mid-range game, and I always like to make a big deal about that mid-range game. But that mid-range game is something that the Fever are missing right now. Like last night, I watched the Fever play the Sparks, and with Kelsey Mitchell was like tearing it up the first half. Her three-pointer was on, and she was getting all the way to the cup. You know what I mean, and was scoring. But when things get tough, and you need a basket, you gotta have a shot, like a go-to shot or a higher percentage shot that you can knock down to either maintain that lead or keep the game close. And so that's what I think Paige Bueckers got right. Her mid-range game, I think probably to me, even though she's a rookie, is one of the best mid-range games in the league. She's not really, in my opinion, she's not really a shooter like Caitlin Clark is. Like Caitlin Clark is a shooter. Paige Bueckers is a scorer, right? And so Paige Bueckers is somebody who she can get buckets whenever you need them. Like I said, if a game is tight, she has a mid range game, whereas though that higher percentage shot is going to really serve her well. Now, like Caitlin Clark, when you coming down a stretch late in the second half and you want to rely on that 3-pointer, I you know it's hard. You're tired. Defense is clamping down, so it's harder to knock those shots down. So that's why I think that the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark need to find ways to utilize or get baskets like at that mid-range level instead of relying on that 3-pointer. Like I said, I watched last night. Caitlin Clark didn't play in that loss they took to the Sparks, but the same thing happened though. With Kelsey Mitchell, they shot the 3-pointer, and then once the 3-pointers just started, they wasn't dropping. Then the Sparks come down and they hit a couple baskets, and so you want to be able to. That's how you maintain that lead. Like as far as in the low post, I like what Aaliyah Boston did in the low post, and she was efficient and she got baskets. But when you needed a basket, and they deny her the ball at certain times, Aaliyah Boston, they denied her the basketball. I just think that you got to have somebody who can create on their own and get you a shot, and that's where with Paige Bueckers, that's her game is definitely suited for the WNBA in my opinion. I think that as she grow and get more experience in the WNBA, I think she'll even get better and better at scoring in the WNBA. And I also think that the fact that she is, I think she's around 6 feet tall, right? And they have another young lady for the wings, Enrique. Enrique is shorter than Paige Bueckers, and she can score. She can just flat out score. But the thing that helps out Paige Bueckers is Paige Bueckers is taller. So that means that she's taller than a lot of the guards that she's going against. So that's her advantage. And then on top of that, she moves like a guard. So if you put somebody bigger on her, she's going to go around them. So Paige Bueckers is very hard to defend. And like I said, as she gained more experience at the WNBA level, she's going to be a problem. she's going to be a big problem. And I think that right now, what is missing from Caitlin Clark game is the ability to hit that mid range shot. That is, in my opinion, that's what's missing. Like this post right here, somebody posted Paige Bueckers is a better overall basketball player than Caitlin Clark and will be a better WNBA player. Now, I don't know if I think that she is like I said, she's a better scorer. She's a better scorer. Like coming down, I would trust like coming down like the stretch of a game, a close game. I would trust like the kind of shots that she that Paige take. I would trust those kind of shots to be able to either keep the game close or either to to get us over that hump. I just trust those more so than the 3-pointers. And so I can see why Gino Oriama recruited her to UConn. She just like her skill set is just, I mean, her skill set is just really, really good. And so if I had to make a bet on who would be able to win like win championships at the WNBA, I think right now I'm gonna have to go with Paige Bueckers, right? And not just because of what Paige Bueckers do, but I just think that so many players also too are like jealous of Caitlin Clark. So, you know, Caitlin Clark is going to have like a core, like what Michael Jordan had at the Lakers. Like it was he had just him and Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman got there for the second I think for those last 3 rings. But then he had Ron Harper, but for the most part, it was him, Scottie Pippen. John Paxson was there for like I think 3. Then you had Steve Kerr, I think was there for like 3 of the rings. But what was the mainstay was Scottie Pippen. And I think that Caitlin Clark is going to need, in my opinion, like excuse me, as a Scottie Pippen type ball player that can help her, maintain or be able to be competitive throughout her career. She's not going to be able to cherry pick, throughout her career because so many God damn, so many players seem like they jealous, or even might not even be jealousy. It may just be the fact that people just want to compete against her and beat her. So it couldn't be, it might not be jealousy, but I just think a lot of people are going to prefer to play against Caitlin Clark than to play with Caitlin Clark. So, and it's going to be hard for her to develop develop a dynasty. I think that I like the chemistry that she has with Aaliyah Boston. So if her and Aaliyah Boston can stay together, then the other young lady, Sophie Cunningham, I like the chemistry that Sophie Cunningham also has with her. I'm not sure about Kelsey Mitchell. I think that Kelsey Mitchell, if she stays, that'll be great. But I think after a while, Kelsey Mitchell may want to move on and do something else or play for somebody else too. But man, as far as Paige Bueckers is concerned, man, I just dig her game. And I think her game just lends to a more successful type of a WNBA career. You might, people out there may disagree with me, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens though with Paige Bueckers and her career because I just like to watch Paige Bueckers play because of the way that the way that she scored. Now her defense, Paige Bueckers needs some work on her defense though. She's a solid defender, but I think if she gets any better, on defense, that like if the sky's the limit for what she can do in the WNBA. And so, the person who posted earlier, who posted online that she's a better overall basketball player. Uh, it's close. I don't think right now. I don't think right now she's a better overall basketball player than Caitlin Clark. I think maybe later on, like I said, because of her skill set, she may be able to have more success in the league than Caitlin Clark. But other than that, man, I'm looking forward to, like I said, I'm looking forward to having these young ladies just go back and forth at each other and you know, get better and put on a good show for the fans. Um, that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.